to the Strait of Hormuz as ongoing military escalation in the region has disrupted shipping flows through the narrow passage. U.S. Central Command said in a note to seafarers that U.S. military will enforce a blockade in the Gulf of Oman and Arabian Sea east of the Strait of Hormuz, and it will apply to all vessel traffic regardless of flag. The note said any vessel entering or departing the blockaded area without authorization is subject to interception, diversion, and capture. The note also added that the blockade will not impede neutral transit passage through the Strait of Hormuz to or from non Iranian destinations. The blockade came into effect at 1400 hours GMT. The US plan was supported by Israel.
Because Iran violated the rules, President Trump decided to impose a naval blockade on them. We of course support this tough stance and we are fully coordinated with the United States at all times.
However, NATO allies, including Britain and France, said they would not be drawn into the conflict by taking part in the blockade, saying instead that it was vital to open the waterway. Diplomatic efforts are also underway to restore traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. French President Emmanuel Macron said France and Britain will work on a peaceful multinational mission to restore traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, but it would be separate from the warring parties. Macron said that in the coming days, together with the United Kingdom, we will organize a conference with those parties prepared to contribute alongside us to a peaceful multinational mission aimed at restoring freedom of navigation in the strait. Macron added that this strictly defensive mission, separate from the warring parties to the conflict, is intended to be deployed as soon as circumstances permit. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said on Monday that restoration of freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz was of paramount importance.
The ongoing closure of the Strait of Hormuz is greatly damaging, and the restoration of the freedom of navigation is of paramount importance for us.
While German Chancellor Friedrich Merz expressed concern over rising oil prices following failure of peace talks.
Yesterday, Iran and the US temporarily suspended negotiation on a ceasefire. The US president announced a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. As a result, oil price rose again overnight to over $100 per barrel. This shows that this conflict, this war, is the root cause of the problem we face in our own country as well.
While the Kremlin said that the US blockade of the Strait of Hormuz will be bad for the markets.
Such actions will likely continue to negatively impact international markets. This can be assumed with a high degree of certainty. Many details